Hey everybody, welcome back to Factorio version 1.0.0. I'm Joe Mama, your host. So, if you remember last time, we were talking about getting nuclear power up and running, and check this out. So we've got our tank, and in it, we've got loaded quite a lot of steam turbines, we've got railroad components, we've got 4 nuclear reactors, and something I completely forgot, we forgot to make centrifuges. I forgot to set up any provision for making centrifuges. So, I spent some off time, actually off-camera time, making some of these. So we've got some centrifuges, we've got heat pipes, and we've got heat exchangers. So, I think we're good to go. And the railroads are important because, let's take a look at the map here. I think we are going to see. At first I thought, oh, this would be a great place to build it right here, you know, sort of removed from everything. And I kind of like the way Board Bob had set up his power plant out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of a body of water, but we don't have enough landfill yet to do that. Also, ironically, we can't really do it right here because there's this uranium patch right here that we're going to need, and you kind of need there to be space for the refining, for the extraction of the uranium and the creation of the fuel. So we have to do some things first before we can really turn this thing into something, before we could turn this fuel into nuclear power. And we need space to do it, and some separation. It's just that it just doesn't work to have it that close in a tight space. It won't do us any good. So I'm thinking we're actually going to do it down here. So we'll set up a spot. There's few cliffs. By the way, we have cliff explosives now. I researched that. And but if we build a nuclear plant here, we've got access to water, and then we've also got, by proximity, access to this patch over here with 35 million bits of uranium. We could bring this over if we so desire. And let's see, what else have we got? We've got a few of them scattered around the map. But in reality, these two are going to be more than enough to get us going. Although, with bad guys right down here, maybe a better place to do it would be here. That probably wouldn't be a terrible place either. We could probably do that. Yeah, maybe we'll set it up here. We'll go in here with cliff explosives, clear it out, and yeah, there's a supply of water. Yeah, probably right in here would be best. I was thinking no, but the more I think about it, I think this really would be the best. So, all right, let's do that. I also want to grab, see, there's some steel tanks around here somewhere, right up here. Nope, that's not them. We're going to grab some steel tanks. Oh, nope, down here, down here. Here we go. And we will head on over to this location. And we'll probably have to do some cliff exploding. Also, I did a lot of sciencing while during the downtime, while off camera, to get some advantages that we need, some scientific advances that we need, while also freeing up power for when, if this makes sense, freeing up power for when we get the plant up and running, because we're actually going to need some, yeah, let's blow this up. We're going to need some spare power to mine and extract the uranium. Okay. I just love blowing things up. So let's go over here. I think we can do it from the tank, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. There we go. So right here, we're clearing out some of the more problematic features here. And we should have plenty of cliff explosives to do it, I hope. There we go. If we use them properly. And again, the goal for this, for getting this nuclear power up and running, is that that we can increase our iron output of all materials, actually. Just basically scale up everything. We don't have enough power to do it as is. Okay, how's our map look? That's better. Let's go down here to this circle down here. See if we can tear up some of this. Not too shabby. And I've been thinking, so I said we had 4 nuclear reactors. Now originally I wanted 2, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know, you can get even better bonuses if you have multiple, or if you have reactors above 2. For example, we can give them each basically a 200% bonus, so that they're producing at 300% capacity, and instead of 40 megawatts apiece, they'll produce 120. So we can get 4 reactors to create 480, almost, 12 times rather than 4, 12 times the power of 1 reactor by just setting up 4 reactors the right way. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Now let me make sure I've got 16 of these things left. I want to make sure there's no other cliffs in the zone. I don't see any. Let's see, there was a couple of little onesies down here. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, now taking a look at this layout here. Now the reactors, let's see, what are we going to want close to the railhead? I think, oh, you know what? Oh, speaking of which, we can finally fix something. Now that we have cliff explosives, there's something we can finally fix that I've kind of been ignoring. Let's go back down to the railhead, down to the railroad here. As small as it is. I don't know if you remember, but we've got this funky little thing we put in the rails right there. This pit. There we go. So what we can do is we can take some rails. So you get rid of that. Take the rails. Oh, come on. Really? Didn't want to... Oh, okay, whatever. So there we go. Got that straightened out. Okay, so again, let's take a look at the map. Okay, I'm thinking the way this will work is there'll be a drop-off point right about here for the uranium ore, and it'll also be the pickup for the sulfuric acid. We can pipe the sulfuric acid over here. So it'll drop the uranium ore off here, which means, let's go ahead and set that up. Do we have enough steel crates? We're going to go ahead and make a bunch of steel crates. Let's do that. Then... I'm just going to extend this basically right into this curve right here. It'll look less obtrusive, I think, if we just extend this right to here. There we go. And let's go ahead, make a railway station. And do I have the ability to do that? No, I don't, because I'm missing steel and iron. All right. Let's get off the tracks. So let's go get some steel, get some iron. We're going to need them anyway. Oh, by the way, I want to show you something. So, I've got heavy oil being turned into lubricant, and I've also got the production of electric motors. But I've disconnected temporarily the cracking. I disconnected the cracking that cracks light oil into petroleum gas, because petroleum gas had filled completely up, and now that I was tapping the heavy oil for something else, it was being tapped, but it wasn't being replaced because the refineries couldn't produce any more because petroleum gas was full. And if any one of these 3 fluids is full, the refinery's shut down. So I turned this function off, and then I was hoping that the light oil was not yet full at that time, but I was hoping that the petroleum gas would be turned into sulfuric acid and other things, and as it was being turned, the refineries would kick on because the fluids now, all three fluids had some room left to grow. So then these would kick on, and in doing so, it would start to fill up the heavy oil. And, well, it did that. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and put this, hook this back up, so we'll start turning some of this light oil into petroleum gas, and that in turn will open up a little bit of space in these tanks so these refineries can start producing. See, there goes one right now. They'll start producing, and they'll start adding heavy oil to the tanks. So that's the reason for that. Okay, let's put down some rail signals. Put down a station here. Let's see, where I'll put it over here, because it might actually open up the possibility of a second train showing up. Would it? Let's see, would that open that up as a possibility? Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could. It would be a short train, but it could happen. Alright, but we're not going to worry about that right now. What we are going to worry about is... Okay, so we want to download uranium ore, and I think we're going to have 6. We're going to have 6 crates worth to do that. Oh, can't do that. Gotta leave space. Silly me. Silly rabbit. And let's go ahead. Do I have any substations? Yes, I still have one. Okay, great. Do I have the ability to make more? Not at the moment because I'm short on copper. Okay. So I think we'll put this here. Actually move it this way. No. Yes, I'll move it this way. Oh, you know what? I am gonna make one more because I'm gonna need. Yes, I got copper right here. There we go. And let's go ahead and make 2 of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one of them here so it fuels up the engine as well. And then I'll have another one over here so that it operates the pumps for the uploading of sulfuric acid. It's going to download the ore and it's going to upload the sulfuric acid. And do I have pumps on me? Yes, I actually do. So it's going to load it onto the cars, onto the wagons, and I will put 1 tank right there. Oh, plus, I've got power lines. Oh, look at this. Cliff explosives, please. Alright, so now, put our power line here. Oops. This is something I usually do. I haven't done it this time around, is run power lines down the middle of my rails. Like, I use it as a utility corridor. I think I've said that before, but I just haven't done it this time. Not really. Okay, well, I'll put this there. And that'll go there. Alright. Okay, now ultimately I will fill these. I'll put stack inserters here, but I'm not mass producing stack inserters yet. Okay, now to start on our centrifuge layout. We've got a few options open to us that we didn't have open before. This is a good thing. We can Oh my gosh, where'd they go? I'm blind. I can't see. Where did they end up in my inventory? Did I not put them in? Oh, there they are, right there. Okay, so we've got 22 of them. We're going to use 20 for this, which means 2 batteries of 10 apiece. So let's see. We're going to have a central belt that's going to bring each bit of uranium ore. Okay, we'll bring it up a ways. Okay, let's see how we want to do this. I may adjust my layout a little bit, but we're going to start with 20 centrifuges. The stuff will come right down the middle. The raw ore will come right down the middle. And let's see. This actually, life now is a little less complicated thanks to this feature of splitters. This is again, this is a good thing. Oh, you know what? Let's balance. Let's put a balancer here. And we'll put this here. And we'll put this here. Okay, so everything gets balanced, and then we'll bring the outputs up this way. Now, here's the thing. Up until recently, now, well, I shouldn't say, let me back up a little bit. The centrifuge has 2 outputs. It has always had 2 outputs, but up until recently, you had to use filter inserters to split what those outputs were from one another. Okay, oh yeah, that's going to work. That will work. So that is no longer the case. Now we can use smart splitters. We can use splitters that will filter it out for us. Dadgummit. There we go. And there we go. Now I suppose if we want, we could add more we could add more banks of centrifuges, but that's not necessary, I don't think, not yet. Now let's see. If we have this many centrifuges operating, it takes a little while to produce stuff, but I think this will do just fine. Whoops. So will that work? Will everything come up through here? Yes, it should. So we can turn this one. We can output priority to the left, and the filter will be uranium-235. This is the product that we're most looking to get. Everything else is going to be uranium-238, and it's going to come out through here. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this set up. And as far as nuclear power goes, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how it's done, because I've made a video on this, and you know what? Maybe I'll put it up in the right-hand corner right now. Look for the card, and it should direct you to that video. Anyway, so rather than get into the nitty-gritty about that, I figured we'd just kind of talk a little bit about power while we do this rather boring stuff here. And so obviously, I mean, we've got steam power that's right now, burning coal, producing a little bit of power for us. But, oops, we just ran out of blue inserters. We're going to go get some more. And I think we're going to need a bunch more. And obviously not great for the environment, not great for the planet, this planet or any other planet. Burning the fossil fuels like that, not the cleanest way to get things done. So, a couple of alternate solutions to that, as you know. And I'm kind of a mixed bag. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I'm kind of a mixed bag when it comes to power. So I am me. Let me just put it that way. My opinions are not right. They're not left. Politically, they're just me, and they are my opinions, and I'm okay with them. But here's my thoughts on the life, the universe, and everything regarding power. Is that yeah, there's some options open to us. We could do solar. We can do wind. Now, I mean, in real life, we can do wind. We can do geothermal. We can do hydroelectric. The how's that go? Earth, wind, and fire. But I'm not too keen on them. I mean, if you think about it, if you really think about it, everything's kind of depends on money. You know, we can say we do things for the right reason, for the environment, but everything really depends on money. It's a sad truth that when the almighty dollar, pound, euro, yuan, whatever, whenever that unit of currency, whenever money speaks, everybody shuts up. Right, left, forward, backward, everybody shuts up because everybody loves money. Everybody depends on it. The world runs on it. It's a necessary evil. So we got to base things on cost, and wind and solar are great, but there's only so much cost effectiveness there. It's not the most cost effective solution. And then, I mean, I've got a lot of kind of grievances with how, you know, in order to get the resources to make them and in order to dispose of them, there's a lot of problems. I mean, granted, they're clean. I love them if they could work, but as far as being clean goes, they're not really that clean. As far as disposal goes and as far as construction goes. So, and as it stands right now, all the stuff we've invested into solar, and we've only ever gotten 2 to 3%. I think both wind and solar, 2 to 3% of the power in the world produced. And it kind of seems like, well, that's not right. We can do better. And so, I mean, what does that leave us? Fossil fuel? Now, we're trying to get away from fossil fuel. And, you know, I, for one, think there are ways to do it. I mean, I remember someone telling me one time, we're talking about electric cars. And gotta say, heard some weird arguments on this one. That, electric cars are bad because you're just... you know, you're still burning fossil fuel. The power plants that power the cars are still burning fossil fuel. And, okay, I see what you're saying, but that's not exactly true. Okay, so we got that lit up. Okay, now what we need to think about is we need to actually get some iron ore over here so we can work on fuel, because some of this stuff is going to have to go toward fuel. And I think what we're going to do is, let's see, I think we're going to create a belt like this that actually puts the, does that make sense? Yeah, I'm thinking so. That's actually going, I actually split this off so that the at least half of the nuclear waste, the uranium-238, we're going to put it in some crates, I think. But, no, the power, it's a disingenuous thing to say, because, yes, you plug in a Tesla, for example, you plug in an electric car, yeah, you're not burning gas, but you are pulling power from a solar plant, from a fossil fuel plant somewhere. Here in the U.S., in all likelihood, the power that goes into your car, electric car, is still powered by a fossil fuel plant. However, you know, Board Bob and I came from U.S. Army, Prime Power. And we had an interesting mission when we went to places like Iraq and others. And one of those missions was to, okay, see, that's going to collect a lot of the uranium-238. And then we're going to bring some uranium-238 and 235, which is the bright green stuff. We're going to bring it up here where we can produce nuclear fuel. And let's see, do we have the ability to provide that as a recipe? Yes, we do. It's going to take 1 U-235 and 19 U-238 plus 10 iron plates. Okay, so we're going to bring this feeder up here, and we're going to bring this will be the iron plates, right here. And I think 2 or 3, you know what, I'll set up 4, just for gits and shiggles. So, yeah, but anyway, both Board Bob and I come from a field where our contribution to the good of the Army, the good of, the world, I suppose, if you want to put it that way, was to make our footprint much more fuel efficient. So what we would do is we would go into a place, and at least part of our mission on a base camp was to take all the little generators. We'd show up to a base camp. We took over Iraq, and we set up camps all over the place, and those camps were powered by whatever we had at the time, which usually were tiny little generators rented from Brown and Root, okay, which was famously Kellogg, Brown and Root, which was very famously a Dick Cheney company. Wait, does that work? Let's see. This goes there. This goes there. And I have my own cynical beliefs about that, about what was going on there. But we overpaid significantly for our fuel, for our generators. And each generator was attached to like a single tent or a single building. And generators love to operate at right around 80%, and most of the generators we were dealing with operated at 10, 20%, but yet it was burning significantly more fuel per kilowatt and than it should have been, and we were paying, and just money-wise, we were paying for the whole thing. We were paying for the whole, let's say it was 200 watts. Let's say the generator was 200 kilowatts, and we were only using like 20 kilowatts. Well, we would pay 200 kilowatts worth of service, and their electricians would come out. They'd check it, and they'd fuel it on the spot. But I mean, there were thousands of these things around the country. I mean, there could be thousands of them just around the base. Okay, so this is our fuel. We need to get some iron ore to come here. Do I have any poison capsules? No, I don't. Can I make them? I can, but I don't have any. Well, that's interesting. Pooh. I don't have any gas capsules. All right. What would I need to make them? I would need coal. I don't have enough coal. All right. Well, we're going to trash it with the tank then and see what kind of path we can make for ourselves to get some iron ore over here. But, yeah, so we would pay through the nose for all that. And our job was to kind of go in and set up a large power grid. What we would do is, instead of using these little 200 kilowatt generators, one generator for one building, and then another generator for another building, another generator for another building. So every generator had to run 24/7, no matter how much the load was being used. Those generators had to run. And I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that that was a huge waste of fuel. It was a huge waste of money. So we went in there and we started taking a look and deciding how we could set up a large power grid powered by much, much larger diesel diesel engine-driven generators. Let's see, what else? Why did we come over here? Oh, yeah, to bring iron. Oh, and there's the perfect place to tap it, right there. And Brown and Root, KBR for short, they hated us. They absolutely hated us. They wouldn't straight up tell you, but they hated us. Oh, we could get stone right here for different stuff. Well, that's good to know. Because basically we were there to take money out of their pockets. We were going to save the U.S. government money, and they did not like that. So we had a hard time working with them. But anyway, I mean, the people on the line, I will say this, the people that we worked with, the grunts that worked for KBR day to day were good people, and they were really helpful, but the middle management, oh man, they hated us. But anyway, so what we would do is we'd take the generators away, and instead, in the place of the generators, we'd put like little substations, like you see in the game, substations. And they would be attached to a large grid that we set up, or we'd use the old Iraqi stuff if we hadn't destroyed the hell out of it. But if it was still operating, we would attach our stuff to it and attach big generators in parallel. So that means multiple generators could power the grid, just the whole grid as one unit. And then we could operate them at 80%. And then if we realized we had more generators than we needed, then we could start turning them off. And then we could operate much more fuel efficiently that way. And plus, it kept all the noise in one place. It kept all the fuel in one place. And it was regulated. Well, it's Iraq. It was a war zone. How regulated could it be? But the point being is you had people whose job it was. They were experts at doing what we were doing. And we could manage the pollution, we could manage the fuel, we could manage oil spills, all of that stuff, and it could be regulated as opposed to being out, soldiers who had no training trying to do it themselves, and all the noise and all the it was bad. If we had it all in one place, we could do proper professional maintenance and whatnot. And the same applies in the civilian world, especially the civilian world. Well, I'll tell you that when we did what we did, we cut fuel usage. Even though we were doing the same job, we were doing the same power, we cut fuel usage for generators by 50%. That's huge. Now think about how that works in the civilian world with electric cars. You know what I'm saying? So when you plug an electric car into the wall, what you're doing is you're essentially putting your load, giggity, you're essentially putting your load out there for the power grid to manage, and the power grid is managed by much more highly trained professionals than we were. Where's my tank? Yeah, trained professional can't find his tank. Oh, it's way over there. And I mean, these guys with college degrees and lots of experience can manage the pollution instead of millions of cars driving around the country. The pollution is managed in one place. Fuel, there's no fuel spills anymore if everyone drove an electric car. There's just so much good there, I think. And to say that, oh, you're making the same mess, you're causing the same pollution just in a different place is really not true. So I have to believe that just like we saved the Army almost half in fuel costs just from power, I believe the same would be true if we did that with electric cars. I believe that the managing the power consumption in one place would be huge. Okay, so let's talk about the nuclear layout here. So we've got, where's our nuke plants? I just put them in my inventory. Where are you? I'm going to find you. There they are, right there. Okay. So each of these takes up a 5x5. Each takes up a 5x5 zone. We've got 4 of them. All right. And what we're going to do, let's bring the heat pipes out this way. Oh, I don't have any heat pipes on me. So when people talk about saying, oh, electric cars, there's no real advantage. I disagree. Just from a fuel standpoint, pollution standpoint, I disagree. Now, there is a wild card to that, and I concede the point that the production of electric cars would be tricky because of the pollution from batteries. I get it. The pollution caused by and the difficulty of getting the rare earths to make the batteries for electric cars. I get it. Can't argue with that. That's a problem. So hopefully we can figure that out. Hopefully the technology matures. That from everything I've read, that is a real pickle. How we do that. But I have faith. Humans are smart. We'll figure it out. We always find a way. So let's have a little faith. Okay. So that's going to be the fuel supply, and then the fuel return, because we actually, it's kind of weird, just like real nuclear power, we have to pull the spent fuel out. So that's what we got to prepare for. And anyway, what I'm kind of getting at is that solar is great, wind is great in principle, but the fact is they've got issues. And the technologies there aren't mature, and the pollution involved with disposing of and creating those machines is kind of significant. So what I see is a market that is ripe for expansion of nuclear power. It's my thing. I love nuclear power. It's what my degree is in, and I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy studying it, and I think it's misunderstood. It's not really, it's dangerous, but really, if you look at the accidents that have happened, they've happened because people did stupid things that they knew they shouldn't do. Chernobyl happened, and it was a disaster, not because nuclear power, but because the people who were operating the plant just took shortcuts, and nuclear power is not as forgiving as hydroelectric or fossil fuel. But if you're going to play with it, know what you're doing, and they knew what they were doing, but they chose to do bad things anyway. Fukushima was a lack of foresight, just lack of if the plant had been allowed to do the work the way it was designed, none of that would have happened. But there was a little foresight, a lack of foresight in the plant design. And I'm trying to remember how 3 Mile Island went down. That's not right. That's not right. I need to turn. Those need to go in a different direction. But it was a little mistake. Oops. Nope. That was right. Okay. Yep. There we go. So, anyway, interesting study, nuclear power. But I think that is the key. I think the ultimate goal is nuclear fusion. But the stopgap, the bulk stopgap for the world, as much as we would love it to be, solar and wind, I don't think that's the way to go. I think it's far more problematic than most people realize. In fact, here's an interesting thing. Unlike fossil fuels and nuclear, renewable energy, which again is great, it's just if we can make it work, but we got a lot of learning to do, is that one of the major disadvantages of those forms of energy is that in order to work, in order to really function, we need, okay, substations. Can I make any substations? No, I can't. The solar, wind, geothermal, they all need to be converted into electric power at the point of collection. That is a problem. Whereas coal, you can dig it out of the ground and then you can burn it. Nuclear, you can dig it out of the ground and then you split it. But solar and geothermal, all of that, it has to be converted to electrical on the spot. It has to be converted to electricity. So now, and a lot of times where you collect them is in remote areas of the world. I think we can agree on that. Solar, I mean, the whole point of solar is you've got big open spaces where there's no people living. Wind, I mean, clear skies so you can catch the wind. Tops of mountains, things like that. So now you have to make sure the infrastructure is robust enough in remote areas of the country to support that. And it's not even close. And now, to be honest, that is something that has to happen anyway, if you think about it. That needs to happen, especially if we all want to start using electric cars. Okay, what can happen here? Okay, this can go... If we all want to start using electric cars, then everybody needs to get used to the idea that our electrical infrastructure is crap, and it needs to be upgraded big time. I mean, just imagine if everybody came home from work and plugged in their Teslas. And, I mean, look at the cheesy little power line outside your house. It can carry a lot of power, but it can't carry that much. So if we all of a sudden decided to plug in our cars at 6 o'clock at night, we're going to be in trouble. So, and then, you know, I mean, just our lust for electrical power is just getting greater and greater. So something's got to be done, and something's got to give. Okay, hang on. Boom. Okay, there we go. So, absolutely, our electrical infrastructure needs some serious work. But, I mean, again, don't take all this and think, oh, well, Joe hates solar, Joe hates wind. No, I don't. I think they're great. I'm just a realist, and I think if they're going to work and work properly, we have a lot of work to do to make that the case. Everybody's got this dream about what they think it can look like, but it's just, that's a pipe dream right now. So ultimately, again, I think the goal is nuclear fusion. It can massive amounts of power in a small space, unlike wind and solar, and no carbon footprint whatsoever. But I think nuclear fission, which is this, is our ticket to get there. But we got nuclear waste. You know, it's a fair problem. But a lot of hope in that is that people, the experts in the field, are working, and they're working very well to see if. Okay, I've got to think this through. They're finding ways to actually turn nuclear fuel inert, or I'm sorry, nuclear waste inert. And that would be huge. Okay, let's take that. Did I grab all of the nuclear heat pipes? Yeah, I sure did. Oh, no, yeah, pretty much. I grabbed them all. Okay, so now we need to think about water. Where can we bring water from? Closest water source is right over here. Yeah, didn't think that one through really well. But that's all right. Let's go ahead, get some pumps. We can actually get a couple of pumps going. Boom, boom. And I've got tanks. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. All right, we're bringing water. Why are we bringing water? Am I using that for cracking? Yeah, I guess I am. Okay. So let me see, I'll run some more pumps here. I'll run a couple tanks here as well. So like I said, I mean, there are people on the right who would say, what, you renewable energy? And there are people on the left that would say, what, nuclear power? Oh, that's evil. Well, like I said, my studies have led me to certain opinions, and it's interesting, very interesting, to say the least. I love it. I love studying power, and I love the fact that I have experience with power, and with the field. It's great. Just my opinions don't generally match. Oops. Most people, I think. Oh, come on. So. But in my mind, I think the goal, I mean, I see it as the same goal. I would love to see us be able to produce power without making Earth a dangerous place to live, a dangerous place for all the animals, for life. And the more we can preserve this planet, the better. I think nuclear is a key to doing it. Sounds counterintuitive, but I think it's going to lead the way to what we're looking for. Because really, I mean, everything we've invested in solar and wind, and we're only, low single digits as far as what we're doing for the Earth, the power needs for the planet. I mean, and the power needs are only going up. To me, it seems like the quickest way to meet the needs of the Earth, the needs of the human race, and to do it in a carbon-free way is nuclear. Because even if the right-wingers are right and say that, we've oil reserves, we think they'll last a long time. Yeah, but they're not going to last forever. And there are some things that renewable energy can't replace that oil can. For example, plastics. We need plastics. Until we find a way to synthesize plastics, we need petroleum for plastics, and we use plastics more and more. So I think just for the sake of keeping access to plastics for a myriad of reasons, we ought to be trying to curb our use of fossil fuels. I mean, again, it's just my opinions might come off as a little weird, but I think it's super important. Okay, so we're trying to get water up here, and I'm going to have to lay out some heat exchangers here and see. Okay, it takes the heat from there and creates steam. So I want to leave a space there so we can connect the water lines. Okay, let's grab some. No. I'm going to create an entire bank of heat exchangers. Where are they again? I have a site open here. Where is it? Okay, so I don't water pumps. I don't have access to. I usually I've seen a chart that shows the number of water pumps you need, the number of heat exchangers, reactors, turbines. I'm doing a 2x2 grid of reactors. It tells me the heat exchangers I would need 48, and the turbines I would need 83. So if I need 48, then I'm going to put 24 on each side. So let me do this. Question though is, do I need to give the turbines? Do I need to give them extra space? Okay, let's grab some of them and let's find that out. So I'm going to try to put 20 on each side. Okay, nope, I can do it. Alright, good. But I'm going to leave space. There we go. And let's see, 3, 4, but I might as well offset it by 1. There we go. That's 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can start to see what I'm going for here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up these heat exchangers, and I'll show you what we have once I'm done. Alright, hey everybody, and we're done. So it's taken me quite a little while, but anyway, we've got the heat exchangers set up. We've got 80 heat exchangers. We've got 48... we got 48 heat exchangers and 80 steam turbines. Plus, we've got systems for steam collection. We've got systems for water distribution. We've got these buffer tanks here set up for steam. And that'll help get us through any low power incidents. We've also got... I've researched a couple of things that are going to help, including nuclear fuel reclamation. So we've got some reclamation centrifuges set up. We've got our nuclear fuel processing, or rather nuclear fuel packing here. This is where we create the nuclear fuel. And then, of course, we've got our centrifuges here. But we've also got... let's go ahead and get this train started here. Let's go ahead and flick it to automatic mode. And where we're going is we're going to a remote spot over here to pick up some uranium. We've already got that set up. And we've got place for sulfuric acid. We've got place for uranium to be collected, uranium ore, and we've also got to be concerned about... wait a second. Hang on, what just happened? Okay, why did that just do what it did? Okay, hang on. I'm going to watch this for just a second. It just did something, and I'm not sure what. Why did it turn around? Like, did I hit a key or something to automatically make it skip a station? No, according to this, that's exactly what it wants to do. Excuse me. But I must have hit a key or something. Okay, so we can't look at it from the map apparently, but we're going to go back here, and once we get there we can take a look at our uranium collection facility. But we're bringing some sulfuric acid with us, and this train will keep the sulfuric acid at this site stocked. So let's get off, and I'm actually going to set this up in manual mode. That way the train doesn't take off before there's some stuff to mine. And we've already got some uranium coming down in here. That's great. Oh, yeah, that totally sucked the tanks dry. Wow. Impressive. Okay, so now it's taking all that sulfuric acid to go ahead and get the train packed, get the train running, or get the uranium running. Okay, we're going to watch this pollution too, because it's going to increase, and it might capture these biter bases here, and if that happens, then we have to employ the turrets that I have set up here. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope not. Kind of like it to leave us alone for a little bit. And let's see, how much does it have? Not a ton. Not a ton. But it looks like we've got plenty of uranium, or plenty of sulfuric acid to do what needs done. And yeah, it's just going to go a little bit slow. So what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and take what we've got over there, and we'll just watch it work. Oh, now it starts counting the 60 seconds. Okay, whatever. Well, that's fine. So yeah, while it picks up that extra uranium ore, that's only going to help. And then we'll watch it once we get to the other train stop. We're going to watch it and see just how. Yeah, that's starting to spread. We'll see how well that works as far as our nuclear system goes. Maybe we can even watch the nuclear plant start getting fired up. And what does our power look like right now? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Okay, we're also going to want to make some more stack inserters too. We don't have nearly enough of those. But again, with this boost in power, hopefully we can increase the things we can make by a long shot. Alright, let's see. Yeah, there we go. At least it allows for the train to pick up a little bit of speed going for such a distance. Okay, so let's get on out. And let's see if this thing does what we hope it'll do. How much uranium ore does it take? And why is it not picking anything? Oh, because I didn't give it a recipe, for crying out loud. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, so let's do that. There we go. How much does it take to do one thing? It takes 8 to 10. 10 uranium ore, okay. Alright, we've got some green stuff coming, some dark green. And unfortunately, most of it is going to end up in our nuclear waste area. But keep our eyes open, maybe we'll see some uranium-235. It's going to take a little while, I imagine. I mean, if you do the math, it says that the percentage of chance that these centrifuges will produce each type is 0.7% for the higher energy uranium-235 and 99.3% for the lower uranium-238. Basically means that out of 1,000 bits of uranium ore, you're only going to get, or not even 1,000 bits of uranium ore, 10,000 bits of uranium ore. And still no light green. Yeah, I guess we can imagine it's going to take a while, and it's already processed. Oh my gosh, it's already processed the everything that we gave it, and it produced, let's see, 46. See if we can do the math here. 38. Oh my gosh. 44. So you're looking at, could it be 50? I'm sorry, 90? All that ore, and it produced 99, or it produced 90 pieces of uranium. Yeah, it's going to take a while. So basically, I think we can assume that out of 10,000 bits of uranium ore, you're only going to get 993 uranium-235, or 238, and 7 uranium-235. Yeah, it's going to take a while. So this one got it. Oh, we might see it happen. You know what? Let's go ahead and watch it happen. Let's watch the magic happen. How long does it take? Oh, almost done. There we go. And I've got a buffer chest here for the nuclear fuel, just so that it will collect after a while. Buffer chests are a good thing. And you know what I'm going to do? No, I'll let it go on its merry way and see how it distributes itself. And like I said, we've got the input belts and the output belts that are going to take care of the nuclear fuel and the waste. Come on. All right. There we go. So we've got 2 nuclear reactors going, one right next to the other, and that is a good thing. And that's 4 and 4. Where'd the other 2 go? Oh, okay, that's right. It would show 0 there, or none at all. It wouldn't show a 1. It would just show nothing there if there were. Basically, it's 1 is burning and 4 are in reserve. That's what that means. So that makes 5 and 5, and therefore we've got 10. Okay, they're all accounted for. And so what's going to happen is, as you can see, the temperature on these heat pipes is starting to rise. And once it gets to 500 degrees Celsius, it will start to get these heat exchangers. Once it gets up to 500 up here, some heat exchangers will start converting to steam, and then the steam turbines will start spinning, and we'll start getting power. Oh, there we go. There's another one. Thank goodness. I think it takes 200-something seconds to burn 1 nuclear fuel pellet. And it might actually fire up the remaining 2. And that will be great. And that's heating up the pipes nice and quickly. More fuel? Okay, great. It's actually going pretty quickly. I really didn't expect that to be the case. There we go. Yeah, get on in there, guys. Okay, now, has there been any waste kicked out of here yet? Not yet, huh? Okay. So I've got the waste, just basically kicks the uranium-238 right back into the system. And if it's not used by nuclear fuel, if it's not used by the fuel processing sites, it goes right back into the system, or right back into the waste storage area. And we'll have to expand that without a doubt. When we get Covarex nuclear enrichment, once we get that, we're going to see a lot of that dark green stuff go away. That's our nuclear waste. It will go away after a while. Covarex allows us to reprocess it. It's a fictional process. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's fiction. It's kind of created to help balance the game a little bit, but it's a pretty awesome thing, and it's absolutely essential if we want to make nuclear weapons. All right, we are getting there. 100 more degrees Celsius. These will go as high as 1,000. And what kind of bonus is it getting? See, it's getting a 200% neighbor bonus. So each of these reactors is producing 120 megawatts worth of heat. And now we just got to make sure it gets to the heat pipes and to the heat exchangers. And we're into the 400 range. And once it hits 5, we'll start seeing some steam. And that will be great. And we should have all the steam lines tied together. Okay, we're in the 490s. There we go, there's some steam. And we see it over there too. Beautiful. And steam is quickly building up in the tanks. That's good, that means we have extra. I don't have the steam systems tied together yet, but I don't think it'll be necessary. So let's see what we've got for power. Oh, look at that. 535 megawatts. So what I'm thinking is we can actually disconnect the coal plant and just leave that on the side, I think. I think we don't need to be burning it. We don't need to be producing the pollution. So let's see where the pollution cloud is. Okay, so far we're still good. And yeah, I think we're good. I think we don't have to worry about biter interloping for at least a little while. And we've got nuclear power, baby. We've got more than enough power to do what we need to do. So next time, what we'll do is we'll think about laying out the mega base, the mega parts of the base, so we can greatly increase the stuff we're going to do. We can get robotics, we can get all that stuff working for us, and that will be awesome. Really start pushing toward endgame. Well, all right, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.